Hi, friend. Michele Peterson here, Coach Michele Peterson. It is time for another coffee chat. Now, I have to, full disclosure, I'm drinking water this morning because I've already had my coffee. I had coffee this morning with a friend, a networking friend that I know through a networking group, and it was such a nice chat. And it prompted me for my topic for today, this question, these two powerful words to use when making these connections when networking. And I met with her today because I'm introducing her as a speaker at our meeting next week. And I have these questions that I ask that I had planned to ask in preparing her little intro, a little bio intro to for when she is a speaker. And I went through all of, my normal things like, why did you choose this career and how long have you been doing it? What do you enjoy when you're not working? The standard kind of things. And I also am asking right now, what book do you recommend for personal or professional development? So, not just the standard. We kind of have a little fun with it. And then at the end, I asked her, so what else would you like me to include when I introduce you? And that question, oh my goodness, that prompted her to tell me about these treks that she has done. She has done these like 5-day, 6-day, 5-night treks to up in Mount Whitney, down into the Grand Canyon. She's planning one this coming year for up in the high Sierras. And these treks are amazing. So they're, like I said, they're the 6-day, 5-night is the one that she's planning coming up, where they pack everything in. And it is, it's a group and it's guided. So they have help, but they pack all of their food, all of their tent, their sleeping bag. It is a trek into nature, into the wilderness. There's no, like, a lot of campgrounds, there's camping these days, they have the restroom facilities, they have even showers at some campgrounds. This is none of that. This is find a tree, find a bush, right? To go to the bathroom. So it is true, out into the wilderness trek. And it was so interesting to talk to her about that because, it's not just the physical exercise of doing this, but it's also the mental exercise and the satisfaction that you get from completing it, from doing it. And it got that what else just deepened this connection between us and really deepened my understanding of her, because this is not something that, she just shares all the time. And I'm not sure why, because it's fascinating and she's a badass for doing it, right? But it's just not something that she always brings up. So I was so glad that I had asked that question. And my encouragement to you is also ask that kind of question to where, I think sometimes, how like lawyers, they say never to ask a question that you don't already know the answer to. And I think sometimes we kind of play it safe with the questions that we ask other people when we are building these connections, because don't you think that networking is really about building the relationships and making those connections? It was funny, I was doing a mentoring call with somebody just yesterday about networking. And we got into that discussion of, networking is not about selling. It is not about, just finding leads or prospects or new clients. Of course, that's what we hope comes out of it. But isn't it really about building the connections and the relationships? Because even if the person that you are networking with, they may not be a potential client. They may not ever do business with you, but they may know somebody that you can help, that will be a good potential customer or client for you. And you only get to that level of trust for them to pass those referrals by getting to know them and letting them get to know you. I know for me, that's a big thing because I have issues with vulnerability. So it is something that I'm constantly working on. And this, and I think a lot of us do, especially women, we have some vulnerability, some challenges in being vulnerable, in opening up. And so I think that it was just such a beautiful moment when I asked, this, so what else, right? And so it's completely open-ended, right? It's whatever she chose to share. And what she chose to share was so powerful. And like I say, I sat there and I looked at her and I actually told her, I said, I am in awe. I have so much respect for that, for what you have done. And so it gave me just a whole nother appreciation for who she is as a person, right? And I mean, trucking has nothing to do with what she does as a profession, what her job is. And yet it says so much about her as a person, right? So I encourage you to not only ask the what else question to get to know somebody else better, but also remember it for yourself. I mean, because really sometimes the lessons that we learn are so much also what we need to hear for ourselves, right? So not just what else when you're asking somebody else, but also think about what else you can share about yourself that lets somebody get to know you on a deeper level. Let them get to know you as a person, not just you as whatever your profession is. Okay, so not just you as a realtor, not just you as a insurance rep, not just you, as an insurance agent, not just you as whatever it is that you do for a living. Let them get to know you as a person. So this what else is, I believe, so powerful. These two little tiny words, what else? What else would you like to share with me is what you're saying to somebody else. But also, what else can I share about myself to help you get to know me better? We talked, as I'm recording this, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. So we talked about what are we doing for Thanksgiving. And so I shared with her our tradition of baking pies and because she asked me, so you bake them yourself? And I said, well, yeah, and I know not a lot of people do, and a lot of people are like intimidated by making the crust, and I've always made crust from scratch. I've learned from my grandma. And so I shared with her that, and I shared with her my multi-step process for making my cornbread dressing. And so it was those little things that have nothing to do with what I do for a living, but it allowed her to know me a little bit on a deeper level, and it got to let her know me about what's important to me, right? So much about like the baking of the pies is honoring the tradition of my grandma and making new traditions with my family, and just doing something special for my family that it's and I'm not saying if you buy a store-bought pie that is not in any way diminishing what you're doing. But for me, making it from scratch and doing the whole process of it is like a labor of love, right? It is showing others what how much I love them. My love languages are, by the way, the words of affirmation and the acts of service. So in my act of service to them, I am showing them that I love them. So I let her know that about me. And I really do. I encourage you to do the same. And that really is my message for you for today. In in the, so just remember these two words. Remember the what else, both in asking that other person and in prompting yourself to share about yourself, letting that other person know more about you. So I hope that this has been a blessing. I hope this has been helpful for you. And I just want to say that I am so thankful for you watching, for you sharing some time with me today. I really appreciate you. I am thankful and grateful for you. I hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving tomorrow. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, if you're in the United States and you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope that you have a beautiful day. If you are not in the United States, I still hope you have a beautiful day tomorrow. It's just not a holiday for you, but I still hope that you have a beautiful day too. And until next time, I just hope that you go out and you make those connections and you make those really meaningful connections. Let people get to know you. You get to know other people, because the beauty of networking really is that. And what you put out into the world really will come back to you. Those connections that you make really will make a difference in your life. All right. That's it for today. I will see you again next time. Bye for now.